all stand and be heard. Thank you. You may be seated. This is the tribunal. I'm here to adjudicate the tenant and the plaintiff in this case, the landlord. I will hear first from the landlord and then from the tenant. And may this court be called to order. You can go ahead now, sir. Thank you. My name is Mr. Johnson. I own the property, and this tenant has not paid his rent, Your Honor, for at least 3 months. He's been late since he signed the contract. I have a big mortgage to pay, and I just cannot deal with erratic payments from this tenant. So I'm asking the court to see to it that all the payments are paid and that there be no arrears in the future. Failing that, he will need to vacate immediately. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you very much. We've heard from the owner, the landlord, the plaintiff in this case. Now we shall hear from the defendant. You may rise and state your name, and you can begin. Hello, Your Honor. Yes, I have been late with the rent. I know that. I feel really terrible about it. I've had very erratic hours at work. I didn't expect to be cut back like that. It's been highly stressful. I just haven't had the funds. But the good news is, thankfully, that has changed. The situation has changed, Your Honor, and now I am able to not only pay the rent, but it will be ongoing, and the stress at work has been alleviated. I put forward here, Your Honor, my case that I shall now be paying constant rent and that this will never happen again, and you have my guarantee. The court has my guarantee. This will not happen again, and I will put that in writing. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. That was well done. Thank you. Now we shall hear from Martina Tan, the property manager. Yes, Miss Tan? What would you like to say? Hello, my name is Miss Tan, Martina Tan. I am the property manager for the plaintiff, and yes, the rent has been late and it is a concern, but I put forward here, Your Honor, a request in writing that from now on the rent shall be paid on time. I also put forward a copy from the defendant's boss saying that the stress has been alleviated and the work will be constant. But we request, Your Honor, that the courts uphold, as per the law in Victoria, that the tenant pay the rent, and if in fact it is behind over several weeks or months, then we have the right to ask the tenant to vacate within 3 weeks of not paying rent. That is our request, and given that all parties agree to that and sign, we will be happy to have the defendant stay for a further lease. But we also request that the lease only be a 4-month lease, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Tan. The court has heard you. We have the documents, and I shall now take a few minutes to deliberate my findings. So if you will just give me a few minutes to look over the items. Right. I have made my decision. This tribunal, the VCAT, is a place where tenants and landlords can come along with their property managers. And I see you are all here today with genuine concerns and genuine and respectful evidence and respectful communication. I appreciate that. I appreciate the stress that the defendant was under, and I also appreciate that the owner, Mr. Johnson, needs to pay his mortgage, and that any arrears could put him into financial trouble with the bank, which could lead to a foreclosure. So it's quite a serious matter. We only have the defendant say so that he will pay, and in this irregular economic climate, that is not really going to be satisfactory. We will need a deposit of another week's rent when the defendant is able to save that up, to be kept in abeyance for any further rental omissions. We also request, the court requests in writing, that the boss sign an affidavit that indeed the work is constant and will be constant for the next 4 months. And we further request that the tenant be only given a 4-month lease instead of a 6-month or 1-year lease, and that if the said rent is not paid correctly and routinely during that next 4 months, that this matter will be back here again, heard in the tribunal, and the process of application can continue, and at which time it would be more likely that the plaintiff is subject to eviction. So that said, if everyone agrees, we hope this is a positive step forward, that the tenant will pay the rent. He has advised he's less stressed. There will be constant income. He is on notice about what could happen if the rent fails. And if all parties agree and everyone is signed off on that, then we can complete the matter today with the proviso that it be back in court with another application attached to this one in whatever time the arrears occur within the 4-month period. Are there any other questions or comments that anyone needs to make before I adjourn this case and finish the hearing? The plaintiff, Ms. Tan, Mr. Johnson? No. Thank you all very much for being here, and I am happy to uphold the VCAT Victorian laws for the proper and complete tenancy and landlord acts, which do include that the rent be paid on the due date. Thanking you again. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and let this court witness that for now, as we're all in agreement, yes, I can hear you're all saying yes, the document has been signed, and we now sign off on this case number 8463215, the matter of the plaintiff, Mr. Johnson, versus the tenant and arrears. Thank you, and hopefully this matter will be completed. Thank you again.